Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We're back in the building. I got my man Andy, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about with the New York Knicks. Not that there's really been any action, but there's some stuff to talk about as far as trade rumors and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to start off in the bubble where they say RJ Barrett is having a heck of a time in the bubble. He's proving what he's worth. He's showing off in the bubble. That's what they say, Andy. They say RJ Barrett's doing his thing in the bubble. Any other updates? You heard any other updates from the bubble? I haven't seen Tom Thibodeau come out and say much of anything.
Yeah. We didn't see Tibbs doing his, day-to-day media press thing on Zoom, but most of the things that we hear nowadays are rumors. And if the Knicks would get at least half of the players that they're rumored with, we would be probably the NBA champions, bro.
Right.
So
right.
Then the names that come out there in the in the market, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I think it's beyond a point of rumors that the Knicks can even have, because it's like every fan is speculating. Every reporter, if he wants to sell an article, he just pops the Knicks name out there. It's wild. It's wild out there.
Yeah, it is. It's wild out there. And the thing is, Leon Rose, Scott Perry, and them guys are not, from what, I guess it's just, I can only speak from what I can see as a fan, but it doesn't seem like they're the type to say anything or to say much. But you never know. Listen, you got World Wide West, and World Wide West, that's his MO, right? Playing that underbelly role. So you never know if World Wide West is out there leaking some of these things out there so that he can see the response, right? That is his role. That's what he does. So
exactly.
You really never know.
Yes, and he could be doing every of these rumors, just putting out, okay, I'm gonna feel the fans on this guy, feel the fans on that guy, then I'm gonna balance of, okay, we're gonna go this guy over that guy, just to like lower the value of a trade possibility. It can be World Wide West behind the steers here and doing everything of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So are they finished with the bubble? The Knicks bubble? Are they done?
You know what? I think it's all finished, or it's gonna end like Friday, right?
Okay.
It's supposed to be like 2 weeks. So
yeah, 2 weeks.
It's gonna be Friday.
I'm just wondering, because we haven't heard an update in a while, so I'm expecting that at some time, Tom Thibodeau is gonna come out and do it. Do another update. Not that we're gonna get much from the update, because we haven't got much from those updates.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll look and we'll try to figure out what he's saying, and try to read every little eye twitch, to figure out if it means something when he mentions a player's name. But we haven't really got much from those. We haven't got much from them at all, and there hasn't been one released. They haven't done one in a while, so I don't know. The only update we get is about RJ Barrett. Right, that's about it.
That looks like to be the safe name, right? Whenever he's talking about questions asked about Frank or DSJ, he's like, okay, we have these guards, we're gonna look to expand the roster and stuff like that. That makes me a little bit worried, but RJ is probably the safest player on this team, and that should be right. So
right, yeah, of course, yeah, he's definitely the safest player on the team. Anybody else, is clearly up for grabs. Not up for grabs, but it's clearly, they'll trade him. Anybody else on the team, they'll trade him
for the right price. Everybody's available except RJ probably.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see if an update comes out soon, which hopefully it will, but we'll see if an update comes out soon. Big shout out to Justin Hernandez. He said, call us the New York rumors. Yeah, you're right about that. You are definitely right about that. Mad rumors going around about the Knicks and what the Knicks might do. And we're going to look through about 5 of them that was in, a certain publication. We'll check those out. And then Pastor Ray Pittman said RJ Barrett is better QB than Daniel Jones. I don't even want to get into the New York Giants. So I'm not even going to go there. Talk about the Giants right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin my day.
Slowly looking, the Knicks are going to be the best team in New York, bro. The Giants are on the downfall. The Jets are going to downfall. And who would think that the Knicks are going to be, the cream
right
of the top, right?
Tell me about it. They just might end up being the cream of the crop in New York. I don't know. And that's crazy. I guess the Nets. But the Nets are, the Nets are burning too.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this stuff coming out about the Nets. The Nets are burning too.
That's going to be comedy. That's going to be comedy. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be comedy. I thought I seen Mark try to enter the room. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he's in. He's in, Sim.
How come I don't? Okay, hold up. Let me see something with my screen. Maybe I have something going on. Maybe I did something wrong with the screen. Let me try to make some adjustments with this screen because. Okay, there he is. He look ugly too, but there he is. Mark, what's going on, man? What you hearing from the bubble?
Listen, man. Some people have to go soon. Some people have to go soon, man. It's just the way the business work, man.
Look, he's happy about it. I don't know what he's happy about. He has no idea who's gonna go, what's gonna happen. But Mark just likes drama. That's it. Mark just likes drama.
Listen, man. We already know who the culprits is, man. We already know. So let's stop acting acting like Tyler. We know who the culprits that are going to go if anything happens, man. It's nothing else to say, man.
I don't think you do know who's gonna go. I think anybody can be traded except for RJ. Just like Andy said.
Okay, so in that case, right? In that case, everyone is up for rent, and I'm okay with that.
Everybody except for RJ. Everybody except for RJ. And Kev is gonna be mad. Kev is gonna be mad because that means Mitch is up for grabs too.
Besides him, he's a keeper. But everyone on this team is being looked at. And what's crazy is that Chris Paul, that Chris Paul thing, it depends on the other winning teams, like I said. If they still in the mix room, but if they not in the mix room, OKC wants to trade him. It's time.
Okay. We're gonna get to that. Let's start off. Let's start off talking about this article that came out, New York Post, by Mark Berman.
Oh,
okay.
I read that on the train.
All right. He said Chris Paul dropped by the Orlando bubble virtually Sunday to watch Game 3 of the NBA Finals. He was a guest of ABC. Jeff Van Gundy surprised Paul with a question on his feelings about being in the twilight of his career in a rebuilding situation in Oklahoma City, which parted ways with Billy Donovan. Chris Paul, he paused when he responded, and he said, I just love the hoop. He said, you call it my twilight years, I call it a blessing. Right? Of course, a lot of Knicks fans are going to take that to say, he don't care about playing for a contender. He'll play in New York. All right? You know what I mean? Everyone's going to take it that way, which could be true. All right, so let's put that on hold, though. So let's just keep that in the back of our heads, and we're gonna swing back around and talk about Chris Paul. But the article goes on to say that the Knicks may be interested in another guard over Chris Paul.
Now, who might that be?
Victor Oladipo.
Oh,
right. That they may have more. They just may be interested in Victor Oladipo more than they're interested in Chris Paul. Now, does Victor Oladipo bring the same intangibles as Chris Paul? I don't think so. That's just my opinion. As far as the leadership is concerned and the guy that can really direct your team, I don't think Victor Oladipo brings that. I'm not saying he's not a
say,
good player. I'm not saying he's a really good player. He's an all-star caliber player. You know, obviously we've got to see the way he comes back off of his injury, but there's certain intangibles that Chris Paul that I think when you're looking at Chris Paul, this is what you're looking at. These are the intangibles that you're looking at. You know what I mean? And I don't think Victor Oladipo brings those intangibles. You know, now what was said about Victor Oladipo, let's see. When you're talking about Victor Oladipo, it says one NBA personnel man said Dallas's 2 first-round picks, the 2021, 2023, Julius Randle and Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina, could whet the Pacers' appetite. Now, Victor Oladipo is 28 years old. He made the All-Star teams in 2018, 2019. You know, obviously he tore a tendon in his knee in the late 2018-2019 season. You know, let me see. He's entering the final year of his $85 million deal. So, you know, he's going to get, you know, 20 something $million. You know, I don't know.
Now I'm kind of iffy on that because now Indiana asking for too much for a player that might get up and leave. See, that's where I'm going to have a problem with that. Now, if you told me you got Dennis Jr. Randle and probably a Dallas pick, yeah, but you're asking for 2 and Frank Ntilikina within that, man.
Well, no. Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina. Not both of them. Either DSJ or Frank Ntilikina.
They only can have 1 Dallas pick. I ain't trying to give up both of them and 2 other players for a player that's about to leave. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Let me see. Victor Oladipo.
He's 28 too, so get out of here, man.
He's 28. He's 28 years old. Let me see if I can try to find how much he makes. I'm waiting for this to load up. See how much he's going to make next season.
I think he's still on the OKC deal, about $20 million, something like that, about close to that. 2025 or 29.
It's going to be something like that.
Yeah,
you know.
So listen, if I could swap, if you're talking about swapping Dennis Smith, you could take a guard, a young guard, and Julius Randle, still a valuable player. That could be the trade. But if you're talking about multiple picks, no. Your man is coming off injury. We'll be taking a loss. And we'll be taking a loss in that trade because he's coming off a deal. He's about to come off a deal. No way. I'll wait.
And Mark, you know what? We got to remember that, you know, probably his comeback on the court was a little bit too early because he wanted destiny and stuff like that. But he looked like a shade of himself.
Right.
Not even close to what he was before the injury. So we got to take that into account or just let him, you know, play and show us the game. You know, but for me, still, it's damaged goods. And, you know, you can have a player that's going to have, you know, some kind of an injury. But if it's a crucial injury, like a big thing that can linger and shorten your career,
you got
to take that into account. So,
right. And look, he makes $21 million next season.
Oh, so let's swap around.
He makes I don't understand. So if he's making $21 million, why do you need to include Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina? You really don't need to include those guys, right? Because
the money's going to work itself.
Because the money will work itself, right? So why do you need to include those guys?
You know,
or one of those guys? You know what I'm saying? You can do a straight up trade with Julius Randle because if you include one of those guys, now you got to bring somebody back. You got to bring another player back. So maybe there's another player that, well, you know, these are all just rumors anyway. You know, there's somebody else.
I'd have been like, okay, you could take 2023 Dallas pick and Randall and give me Oladipo. That's cool. That's a cool deal. But I ain't giving up all that assets to take a player that don't want to stay because you rejected his deal. You try to short arm him. That's why we know he's leaving. Because you try to short arm him and he declined. So in that case, he's out of there. Ain't no way he's staying because he wants some max money, but he want to be paid in the hundreds. He want to be paid in the hundreds, and he declined that. So get out of here. You ain't gonna.
Yeah, he's not getting that. Shout out to Raw Hebrew Remnant. He said, "Can somebody check Berman into the crack rehab?"
Berman be wilding on Twitter though. He do be wilding, man.
Berman he be saying some stuff. And if you guys get a chance, man, make sure you check out Raw Hebrew Remnants. Make sure you check out his channel. He does a lot of Knicks talk. Well, probably only Knicks talk on there. You know what I mean? So make sure you check him out. He's got some good point of view. So go check out his channel.
I bumped into his channel though. He's profitable. He's on his game.
Yeah. Make sure you go check that out, man. So let me see. Who else did they mention in this chat? You got Victor Oladipo. All right, let's skip to Karl-Anthony Towns. They talked about Karl-Anthony Towns being a possibility.
Tired of that word.
What do y'all think about that?
It probably was a possibility.
Okay, so I don't think because he just signed a brand new deal and he got a point guard that he want to play with, I don't think he's going anywhere for no time being right now. So I'm not even thinking about him. I'm not really thinking about him, to tell the truth. But if it came, depends on what they're asking for. Even though that kid is just a polished player. But no, they're going to ask for the bank. They are going to ask for the bank. But how far, though? It's how far they're going to ask for.
Carmelo Anthony far. Let's put it like that.
I'm not destroying my whole team for one player. No, I'm not doing that.
24 years old.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't have to destroy it. I think it's very different today than it was with Carmelo Anthony. And, everyone keeps going back to Melo. And Justin, just to let you know, there's a lot of, I don't know if almost sounds like you're talking in a vacuum. There's a lot of, not background noise, but it's not clear.
Just tell it straight, bro. It's toilet noise.
Probably is. But, everyone always wants to go back to the Melo trade and talk about, not giving up everything like we did in the Melo trade. It's just totally different because in the Melo trade, we didn't have a lot of assets. That's one of the reasons why they were like, how will the Knicks get this done? The only way the Knicks are going to get this done is if Melo says he wants to go to the Knicks. Because other than that, it's going to be hard to get it done. You know what I mean? Because the Knicks just didn't have a lot. It's so different now. The Knicks have a lot of assets. No matter what the Knicks have, someone's going to come out and say the Knicks have no assets. I was reading some comments by somebody. The Knicks have no assets. They can't make any trades. I'm like, what are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? So no matter what, people are going to say the Knicks don't have assets. But the Knicks have assets now where you can trade some things and still have young players and draft picks.
So let me ask you this question. So if we trade for him today, so I think the deal would be like this. RJ, Mitch, Dennis Smith or Frank, 2020 and 2021 pick. I think that would be the deal for us to get Karl-Anthony Towns.
RJ?
RJ will be in that deal, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Nah, I think
that's a no-go for me.
That's definitely a no-go. Because you would want to put RJ and Karl-Anthony Towns together,
pair them,
right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be Julius Randle, which takes up a chunk of the salary, right? Julius Randle. Hold on. Julius Randle, the 8th pick.
Yeah.
Right, and then another young player. Hold on, another young player, and then a Dallas pick or something like that.
I'm gonna tell you why, Sam. Because if I'm the Timberwolves, right, and I'm about to trade my 24-year-old budding all-star, right, or all NBA talent, I'm gonna look at the new shiny toy. I'm gonna trade. That's just what any businessman does at the end of the day.
I mean, I get that, but you gotta look at they have the number 1 pick, which they're probably gonna take Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards and RJ Barrett together. That it's it's going to be.
Oh, they could take Wiseman. I keep telling you.
I mean, they could, but I don't think so. If they're not trading Karl-Anthony Towns, they're not taking Wiseman.
Oh no.
Right? If they got Karl-Anthony Towns, they're not going to they're not going to draft Wiseman. If they did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then
I think RJ would be a deal. Like for any of these, like
I don't think that the Knicks would include RJ in the deal. I don't think. I mean, if they ask for RJ, then I think the Knicks would just be like, no, we're not going to do it, because you would want to pair, because you're in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
You trade RJ, and you got Karl-Anthony Towns. You're in the same boat. You got a budding star, but no one to pair it with. I think they would be trying to pair Karl-Anthony Towns and RJ Barrett.
So when you mention Randall, right? Randall is not looked at like at a.
But that's not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point. They would. Karl-Anthony Towns is on the books until 2023, 24, 25, or whatever, right? He's only in the second year of his deal. So if Karl-Anthony Towns wanted out of Minnesota, if he went to them, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is all hypothetical, right? But if he went to them and said, I want out, and he was going to get traded to the Knicks, Julius Randle would be there because he can alleviate for Minnesota money.
Oh yeah, you kind of right about
He can alleviate money because you can get out of his contract after next season. Right? So it's not about do they want Julius Randle. It's about Julius Randle can alleviate $20 million off of their books, $19 million off of their books so that they can restart. Because they're not going to.
But they also going to want a talent, giving up a talent. That's
true. That's true. And so Mitch would probably go. Right? That 8th pick would probably go. One of those Dallas picks would probably go, and then maybe someone like Frank.
I'm gonna say this,
something like that.
If we don't give up RJ, say we keep RJ, I would say this: that 2021 will be gone. Our 8th pick this year will be gone. I think Knox will be gone. Mitch will be gone, and gone.
And who? So and Frank.
Yeah, maybe, but we're gonna have to give up this year's. Randall, Knox, Dennis Smith, or Frank. One of those two. Depends on who they want.
I mean, some of those young guys, you're gonna have to. You would hope you would keep one of them. So you would hope, and my hope would be you could keep RJ and Frank if you had to give up. Two young guys, and then you can give them Dennis Smith Jr. and Knox. I would hate to do that. Get Dennis Smith Jr., Knox, and Mitchell. I would hate to do that because that's a big piece of your young group. But but you got to do it. But you would have to do it because you're getting Karl-Anthony Towns back.
I would give that up quick for Karl-Anthony Towns. If that's all I have to give up, bro, for Karl-Anthony Towns to replace those 3 players, which they're not even in the same boat, I'm doing that because
you'd have to. Yeah.
If I get to keep RJ, right, I'm gonna have to give up a little more assets than if I would have to put RJ in the deal. So if I put RJ in the deal, I give up less, but it's still giving more because we value RJ the way we value him now.
Right.
So in that case, we would have to give up more if we're not trading RJ. I'll be fine with that because now I can really build with these 2 and we can go from there. And then that can attract younger talent and players to come play with these two young thoroughbreds. So it can work both ways for us.
Right. And look, someone just said in the chat, Simmons always hungry for quick fixes.
That's not a quick fix.
Right. I'm always desperate for a quick fix. I'm not desperate for a quick fix. What are you talking about, Ralph Unreal? I'm reading from another article, and we're talking about the possibilities that this article presents.
I'm telling you right now,
and if you're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns being a quick fix, he's very young, right? How old is Karl-Anthony Towns? Same age as KP. Same age as KP. That's not a quick fix. You're still building. You're pairing 2 players that are very young and would have the chance to grow together to be a strong team. That's not a quick fix.
So you're telling 6 goals for Oladipo and give up the whole fortress.
Yeah. That's not a quick fix.
Oh, guys, I got a question. If because this question, the answer might end, all the rumors about RJ. Is there even a player in the NBA that was rumored or wasn't that we are willing to give RJ, put RJ in a trade for him?
The only person who I was looking at, who I would give up RJ for, is Devin Booker. That's the only player.
Exactly. I was gonna say that's the only name I would risk RJ trade.
Yeah, that's the only player I would swap for.
And if I'm gonna add RJ, I'm not, adding 2 first-round picks to that. It's RJ first and a couple of, salary matchings and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not, giving out like 3 picks and RJ and whatever, right?
And I'll take Rubio in that deal also if they're willing to give up Rubio. I'll take him with Devin Booker.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else did they mention? Who else did they mention? Who else can we mention that's gonna bring that's gonna bring a quick fix? Since people want to talk about me always doing quick fixes, Ralph.
Let's put this to rest. That Fan Van Vliet, $22 million, that's going down the drain. He ain't getting that.
Unless it's from Toronto. Unless it's from Toronto, Mark, because if they're going to lose Marc Gasol, if they're going to, they're not going to extend Ibaka, I think he might get that from Toronto.
The only thing I can say about that, because I did see the thing with Fred VanVleet, right? Only thing I can say about that is, again, it's all rumors.
But I don't think he get 22. 22 is a stretch, bro.
It's all rumors. It's all rumors. You know what I mean?
You think he's worth 22, Sam?
No, I don't think he's worth 22. I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's gonna get it. I think this is just my opinion, right? Sometimes players come out and the market is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so players get paid more than they're supposed to, right? Sometimes players come out and the market is light and players get paid more than they're supposed to, right? Like you remember a few years ago when the salary cap went up, everybody was getting paid crazy money.
2016,
right?
Man.
And then sometimes a player comes out and there's not a lot of people. If everybody, I don't think the market is just right for Fred VanVleet. That's my opinion.
No,
in my opinion, for Fred VanVleet to get 22 million or get a max or get whatever, right? I think the only way that I think for the market to be right would be that there's no point guards in the market, which there's not a lot of point guards, and then a lot of teams need a point guard. It's not really like that for Fred VanVleet,
right?
Right, yeah, exactly. So I mean, how many teams need a point guard? Like really need a point guard bad? The Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
The Pistons.
The
Magic.
I think they're going to draft a guard. I think they're going to draft a point guard. So I don't think in that case they're going to need one. The Knicks is the only team that talk about needing a point guard. I think every other team has a rising point guard or point guard who they trust with their best player on the team. Because now that I think about it, Toronto, right? Marc Gasol is not playing in the NBA next year.
Yeah.
I don't think they extend Ibaka. No. So who is left on that team? They're gonna have to
I think they're gonna pair Van Vliet with Siakam and go forward with those two guys, and they're gonna drop Lowry, like trade him in the last year of his deal, or like even and go get for the vets minimum if he wants.
You think they'll do that? You think they're gonna do that with Kyle Lowry? Trade him in the last year of his deal?
Yeah, why wouldn't
that's going to happen? Or he's going to have to stay for the minimum money because he's not going to be worth anything for them. And if he's willing to stay for the minimum money, they're going to try to go and fetch with that money someone else. So,
Sin, just think about it. 2A front court is about to leave. Marc Gasol, he's already out. He's playing in Europe next year. Family issues. Ibaka want to get re-up. I don't think they're going to pay Ibaka the money he's going to be wanted.
No.
And number 3. We see what Toronto is now. Like you, there's no ceiling to them no more. It is what it is now.
True.
We know what Siakam is. I don't think Siakam is going to be this superstar that was all a lie. He's a good player. He's a good player.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if you can say that. You don't know how much more he's going to grow. Like, you have to go through what he went through in the playoffs in order to grow. We'll see how he comes back next year. You know what I'm saying?
The way he plays the game, right? the way he plays the game, it's not like one of the guys you give the ball to and he creates. It's not like that.
I get it. But I'm saying he's just budding into becoming. Now he's a little bit older. He's just budding. Let's see where he goes.
He's 26.
Yeah. He's like 26 years old. Let's see where it goes. He is still raw. He's still got a lot to learn. He started playing late too.
Yeah, no, he got his deal. That's cool and all. But I'm talking about where he can ascend to. He's not going to be on that next level of like superstar talent. It's just not in his cards. It's okay.
I'm just not ready to say that about him. I'm just not ready to say that about him because he started playing basketball late. Hold up. He started playing basketball late, right? He started blooming late. So his age doesn't mean as much because he didn't start playing when some of these other, like when you look at Obi Toppin, he started playing when he was young, and he is where he is now. So you can say, well, he might have reached his ceiling. Pascal Siakam started playing late.
No,
he hasn't reached.
No, Sam. I said the team ceiling of being another like.
No. But you're talking about. But what you're saying is that Pascal Siakam cannot grow to be, one of the guys that can create his own shot, this, that, and the other thing. What I'm saying to you is we don't know that yet because he's just now actually growing. He is still developing as a player because he started playing basketball so late. He is still growing as a player. You know what I'm saying? So you may not see his peak until he's 30. Like some guys, you see their peak at 28, 29. You may not see his until he's 30 or 31. Because he started playing basketball so late.
Embiid played basketball late, but his ceiling still he's
not Joel Embiid. Yo, I'm just saying he's not Joel Embiid. That's okay, cool. But what I'm saying is I'm just saying I'm in wait and see mode with Pascal Siakam because you don't know, because I think he started playing basketball so late that you don't know, he still has room to grow. He still has a lot of development left.
No, I'm not saying that he can't grow. I just don't think that he's going to be this superstar talent that's gonna put Toronto back in the talks like how it was last year. And it's okay. It's okay. He's going to be a good player.
He did it this year.
Well, he got destroyed in the playoffs, and he was nowhere to be found in the playoffs.
But that is cool. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I understand. He got destroyed in the playoffs. But this was the first time he was ever in the playoffs, having to be the guy. That's what I'm saying. It is a learning experience for him. No one even expected Toronto to take it to second round game 7. No one even expected it.
No. Wait. We knew that they was good enough to win games.
We knew that they were good enough to make it into the playoffs, but they actually had a chance to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, they was good. They was good enough as a unit. So I'm talking about when next year comes, where they lose Ibaka, they lose Marc Gasol. Now you have Siakam, you're gonna have Kyle Lowry still on that roster. You're gonna have Van VanVleet. They have to pay Van VanVleet because now the free agent pool ain't looking too good. And who's gonna sign with Toronto? So I don't think Van VanVleet is gonna leave that team. So I cross him off my books. I think he's gonna get at least 15 to 18, maybe even 20 from Toronto because they have to.
Yeah.
I mean, he could, and Toronto's gonna feel like, why? You never know what Masai Ujiri is thinking, but they're gonna be like, listen, we won a championship with you. We're gonna, we're gonna do whatever we do.
If I was Philly,
we'll see. If I was them, I'd try to give him something short term if he would take it.
Who?
If I was Toronto, I would try to give him. I'd give him his 22, but I'd try to do it 2 years, and the third year is a team option.
That's what I was thinking.
I would do something like that.
He's a small player, right? So when next year comes and you lose most of your unit, he's gonna have a bigger role. Like now we're gonna see what we paid you this money for. So like right now his role is okay for what he do. Now when you paying him excessive of that type money, now the glasses gonna really be on you. Yeah. And then that's when.
So it is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah,
so let's talk about another player. Let's talk about another player.
All right.
What if Paul George becomes available?
Not for us. He's too old.
No.
He's too old. I'm still a Paul George. No. I'm still a Paul George fan, but not for this team. He needs to be on a contending team. No. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
so because there's a lot of rumors about that Paul George, that he annoyed his teammates over there in Brooklyn. They're having some issues with Paul George. He came up small in the playoffs. He did okay, but he kind of came up small. Montrezl Harrell, I think he's gone. I think he's gone.
He's overrated, man.
I think he's gone.
I don't think he's gonna get paid either. Like the crazy money that people thought he ain't gonna get paid.
Mark, if Harrell's gonna get paid, he's gonna get paid from a team like a Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
The only way he's gonna get money.
So Paul George is in a 4-year, $137 million contract. He's making He's making $35.4 million this season. The final year is a player option, so next season is the final year of his contract, and he can become a free agent after next season.
Let me ask you a question, Sam.
Is he somebody you would consider?
No way, no how.
Because of the timeline, the timeline. Because now I really think about that Oladipo too. I don't think I would give up a boatload to get him. So I'm looking at the same thing as I'm looking at Paul George. He's 30-something years old, 30, I think, 30, 31.
Yeah, probably 30, 31.
The only way we trade for Paul George is we're bringing another star player to play with him. Other than that, no, it'll serve no purpose, man. Serve no purpose. Not for this young team. It'll serve no purpose.
I agree. He has no fit with the Knicks. All the timelines, game style, whatever. He's just not the guy.
Yeah, he's just not perfect for the Knicks right now, bro.
Well, I'll tell you what. If the Knicks look for someone who either Paul George or in Paul George's category, then you know that's when you talk about a quick fix, Ralph Unreal.
Yeah, that's another quick fix.
Okay, that's when you start talking about quick fixes.
Yeah. Now, if something happened where it's like, yo, we got Embiid and you get Paul George, yeah, that's something to think about. But if you just bring Paul George on in, nah, it's okay. I like Paul George, but it's not for our timeline right now.
That would kill RJ Barrett's game. If Paul George was to come, that's gonna kill RJ Barrett's game.
No, I don't think so. Just because
I don't think it would. I actually think that RJ Barrett has a stronger mindset than Paul George. And has a stronger personality than Paul George. And that RJ Barrett's personality would outshine Paul George's. That's what I think.
No, Sim, let me tell you something. And that's why I gravitated to him, because the dude is just fearless and the kid, I just like how he carries himself. He carries himself as a superstar, even though he could be one day, but he might not end up being, but he carries himself like a superstar. It's almost like that Jimmy Butler. You don't look at him as a superstar talent, but the moxie, carries a moxie where it's like, yeah, I'm better than anybody when I get on this court. And I like that, especially to play here. And I don't want to bring Paul George to the Knicks, because like I said, that stigma no, I don't think his mindset would be right for us. No, because we too
I don't either. I don't either. And I don't want to knock him for this. I don't want to knock him for this, right? But he had some problems while he was in the bubble, and it's something that's
he had it before also, so it's not like only the bubble. He had it also before.
I just don't think he has a strong mindset, and I don't think he can handle the Knicks.
You know what's killing these players? The internet. The internet is really killing these players, bro. There's no other explanation why these players feel some type of depression in a way if it isn't for the fans, because the way they get chastised.
I don't even know if it was the fans. I think him being in a bubble, it was being away from his family, and then everything that was going on outside of, just outside in the world. I think he had a hard time dealing with all of that. You know what I mean? And
to me, when it comes to these athletes and they talk about the not trying, play, people gonna have depression, but it comes mostly from the fans, because these dudes are in their phone as much as the younger kids are. And when they open up their Twitter, just imagine seeing mentions of Paul George, that. Yo, bro, ain't no way a human's conscience can read all that and not feel some type of way.
Yeah.
The internet is.
But you know, that's the reason why Kevin Durant responds back, because I think that's the way he gets it off his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
right. I think that's the way he gets it off his chest. I actually don't mind that he responds back. I think it's funny.
Yeah. No, but Kevin Durant's problem is that he wanted the title that LeBron had got when he won his championship. They just didn't announce him as the best player. That was his whole gripe. Was his whole gripe. He didn't get that. He didn't get what he wanted because he played with such a historic team, and he was part of it. He wasn't the sole reason. He was part of it. Now, if he was the sole reason, it would have been a different story. You would have to say, yo, this is the best dude in the world right now. But because he played with a cast like that and a two-time MVP, what you think? You got one guy averaging 28, 6, and 8 in the playoffs, and you averaging over 28 points also. You ain't gonna get all that shine.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to one more guy. Let me get to a phone call first, then we'll get to another guy. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Sim.
Yo, what's popping, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, sir. Sim, the AKA Quick Fixer, AKA Blade.
People trying to put quick fix on me. I'm not trying to quick fix nothing.
Sir, come on. You know I'm not even gonna begin. Not after I sharded on playoff P last week.
Playoff
think
P.
that I would want a player like that, and I called on late, but I was listening to y'all, and peace to everybody, the fan, everybody. Mark is always gonna be Mark, but
you already know, baby. There's only one way.
Let me say this: out of not even all the players, but that I've heard you guys talk about so far, but I think what we're missing is a certain type of player that we have to identify. It was no mistake that Chris Paul with OKC gave Houston all they wanted because of how he plays the game and how he got everybody else to play the game.
Right.
It's no mistake that Joker, who's probably my personal favorite ball player outside of Paul and LeBron and the established guys, that he got his team in a certain situation because of how he plays the game. We have to get people that know how to play the game and not afraid of being here in New York, and not just because they're one way, they can score, they can this, they can that, but they just really know how to play this game out here. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why when I hear about the movements of trying to trade the 8th pick, I don't want to trade that 8th pick because I want them to find a way to get Obi Toppins. If you can't get LaMelo Ball or someone like that who knows how to play the game and move the ball, whatever, I want them to find a way to get Obi Toppins.
Okay.
That kind of, I watched him the other day, and his offensive skill set, someone like that's athletic, young, can shoot the three, can space the floor, can move around. Yeah, his defense right now is whatever, but that's why you have your defensive coaches, someone to come in to teach him how to position and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my worry with Obi Toppin. Listen, if he's there at the 8th pick, I'm taking him. We already know that. We did the whole mock draft, and he was number 1 for that 8th pick if he's there at the 8th pick. But my concern with him is that, he's 22, he's a sophomore, he's 22. My concern is that, when I look at where his footwork is at the age of 22, it just concerns me. I don't, and so I get concerned that, this is kind of who he is right now. And I think he's going to come in and make make a splash. He'll get a little bit better. But I think he's going to come in, make a nice little splash. People are going to say, oh, this guy can be this, that, and the other thing. And then I think he's going to level off. You know what I'm saying? Because I think his footwork is about where it's going to be. You know, he doesn't have a lot of offensive moves. It's pretty much brute strength and the ability to get up quickly. You know, not that I wouldn't take him. I'm just not sure if, you know, his footwork is going to grow. And footwork is a huge part of defense. You know what I mean?
It's a huge part, but you have to have the desire. See what I'm saying? I remember when the Knicks got Allen Houston, and with those old teams, it was like, he can't play defense. He couldn't play defense in Detroit, but once he got with some guys that was going to be like, yo, you got to play defense, he was never a stellar defender, but he had effort. You see what I'm saying? And he had enough basketball IQ, and he was from, you know, his father was a coach. So that wasn't going to be a problem as far as you getting him the effort and stuff like that. You know, just being able to mend his game with other guys that was going to give effort. So you could have the greatest defensive player on your team, but if the rest of the guys on your team are bums, you know, one man can't guard 5 guys.
No bull. Yeah, serious. Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying? And if you don't have the philosophy, like, you know, but this is what we're going to do, not that we're going to shut guys down, but we're going to make it difficult. If that's not the coaching philosophy, then where you going with it? You know what I'm saying? But I also heard you guys talk about RJ a little bit there. And I know Knicks fans, I've seen the chat out here, and don't get me wrong, I like RJ. You know what I mean? I think the league did him dirty, not recognizing that if he shot 70%, he was going to average 17 points a game this year. Right?
Hey, Mark, but, you hear how he said it, right? Basically, he just said, no offense, but
I'm waiting for it.
I'm waiting for it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to hit you the brand newbie and slow down. You know what I mean? I like RJ, but we about to go head over on a young man. And the thing about RJ's game that I saw, even more so than the free throw shooting, you know, stuff like that, and the threes, is that sometimes I would see him try to be too athletic. You know, when he got into that lane, he was trying. And when you're young, you want to bang it on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the things I talked about with Knox. You know, someone with all of his athleticism, never trying to extend and to bang it. And when I watch him, sometimes I'm like, my guy, you coming into a gunfight with a 22, and you acting like you got a 45. With your athleticism, that's not you're not gonna bang it on a lot of people. You're not gonna be uber athletic. So your game, you have to change it up a bit, and hopefully you putting in the work. You putting in the work in the off season to maximize the athletic ability that you got. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes when I would see him come with that left hand, and then the left hand would go even wider. It would go even, it's like he was coming around the corner with it. I'm like, you know why? Because you don't have the ups to get all the way up there to do what you got to do, or to do what you want to do, I should say.
So let me ask you a question. Do you question James Harden that don't get off the floor? That barely gets on the floor, but still get to his spot and still scores? Because that's the same way. Like, you can't.
RJ Barrett, athletically, coming out of college, is not James Harden. James Harden can always bang it on you. He always had a certain athleticism that would lull you to sleep, because once you rocked you to sleep with that jumper, you know, he could do certain things to you athletically, and he was more athletic than RJ.
So what are you saying about RJ?
I'm saying we need to slow down. We need to slow down. I like him. He's a nice piece, works hard. I wanted to move away, as I told you last week, you know, that guy who you did the whole segment on, and out of respect for you, I watched it. You know, wanted to move him out of the way.
I did it on RJ Barrett too, and now I'm doing one on Frank too.
Well, you're wasting your time with the Frank one.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I gotta end this call, man. You killing me,
dude. Who would you rather on your team, Frank or Doc?
Frank or who?
Or Doctor?
Gotta be kidding. I'm taking Frank
I'd
all
rather
day.
Frank. I'd rather Frank.
Are you crazy?
You
That
rather
boy played in high
you rather
level
Frank
basketball.
over Dot?
I would rather
Wow.
Frank Ntilikina over
Wow.
Damian Dotson. Yes, Damian Dotson is 26, about to be 27 years old or something like that, man.
Now you contradicting yourself. You just said age don't matter.
No, I didn't say that.
You just said age.
I said
age
for
don't matter with
Siakam.
Siakam.
I said for Siakam, he started playing at a late age. Damian Dotson been playing his whole life. And this is where he is at 26, 27 years old. Pascal Siakam started playing at a really late age. That's why I said
From what we've seen from Damian Dotson, you think Damian Dotson has got a fair shake here in New York?
I mean, listen, I don't think that Damian Dotson is going to be much more than what he is. He might have a couple of good years where he maybe gets up to 10 points a game, but I don't think he's going to be much more than what he is.
Even from the shoulder injury, which he rushed himself to come back from, that's the kind of players he was still a better shooter than Frank will ever be. And I like Frank.
Yeah,
I like Frank. Yeah. But there's something to say about his shooting and his confidence. But I'll let y'all run. I just want to jump in real quick and talk to my man, the quick fixer. But you already know what it is, fam.
I appreciate you, man.
Chat. Peace to everybody.
Peace, man. Dang, man. My man. Hold on. He said Dotson over Frank. I won't do it. I couldn't do it.
No.
He's bugging. He's bugging.
This is where I get these callers because people say I be talking some crap. How dare you even mention those two players in the same breath in the case of intangibles? Dotson is a spot-up shooter, man.
1 second. Go ahead, Mark.
Dotson is good. Like, he's a good role player, third guy coming off the bench type of a play. For you to say that he is better than Frank Ntilikina that played in FIBA basketball, who I see witness guard the stars of the leagues and shut them down in FIBA basketball. I've seen this guy. He's not someone that's gonna knock down shots better than Dotson. Dotson's a shooter. That's cool. But this is the guy that can still hit shots if things are designed the way he should play. Because I've seen it. I've seen it all. But number one, Dotson don't carry the same tangibles that Frank does. Not on this court. Not on this court.
And I see some people saying that they would take Dotson over Frank. I just don't agree. Dotson, to me, is 26 years old. Not that 26 is old, but for the NBA, it's it's starting to get up there. Dotson is basically what he is. He
reached his ceiling, bro. He's like, what do you expect for Dotson to do? It's nothing else. Maybe a couple of percentage, from the field goal, right? But it's not gonna be nothing more.
You know what's so funny about Frank? Frank's ceiling, it's what's crazy is he has another ceiling of defensively that he can go.
Yes.
Yo, so I'll tell you this: that Knicks game when Marcus Morris hit the three and I was in that building. The defense that he plays when the Knicks was locked in that game, I said if we get this level of consistency of basketball where we in sync defensively like we was in some of those games, Frank is a super plus defender. Like this is someone who you count on. This is a guy that gets into the teeth of offense. He bothers star players. When he did the Luka Doncic, I've never seen no other player get in his grill. No other player get in his grill than he did. So don't tell me Dotson is better. No.
And Dotson is a good defender, right? But he's not. He doesn't have the lockdown. He doesn't have the potential to be a lockdown defender. I think Frank has the potential to be a lockdown defender.
I watched this guy one summer take out Donovan Mitchell.
So
Walker.
Anyway,
do you know how hard it is to stay in front of those two?
Yeah. Let me get to this call. Call you live. What's popping?
What's going on, fellas? My bad.
What's going on with you, my man?
So I'm kind of hyped for a second.
Nah, it's all good, bro. I feel you.
Nah, I just wanted to give my little opinions on certain things. I feel like I don't want us to get caught up in the low free agency this year. There's really nobody on the market, and I feel like last year I kind of erased last season. I just put it all the way out of my brain. Like there's 27 different things that was wrong with the last season. So it's like I really try not to judge everybody. Like I feel like DSJ, they get way down on him, and I just feel like he just had a bad year. Like I don't want to see him go. I feel like he's still got a lot of potential to show, and I feel like with Thibodeau, it's going to come out better this year. Like last year, he had personal things, coaching, this, that, and the third. And now this year, you see they got a whole new staff. You see the little Instagram posts, how everybody's individually working with somebody particular that's to their favor of their talents. And I just rather, like, the only trade I would probably much try to do is the CP3 trade. And only because he's like a floor coach.
Right.
Like, I don't want to spend mad draft picks and mad assets on this one or that one, because every single person that comes up, I feel like I see it's a higher price.
Right.
Like, oh, for this one is more picks. This one 3 picks. This one 4 picks for Paul George. I don't care about Paul George. I don't care about this one or that one. CP3, because he legit is like an on-the-floor coach. And as long as he gets us closer to the playoffs, like helps with who we have, and if we can get into the AFC, that's great, because then that just lets other players know we can manage it. Like, I can bring them over the hurdle. But between the picks that we got this year, like I think we should just take Toppin. Because if we get CP3 and we take Toppin, then that's that we're already improving.
But Obi Toppin may not be there at the 8th pick.
Yeah, for me, I'd rather either Toppin, Karl-Anthony, or I like RJ Hampton.
At 8?
At 8?
I feel like believe it or not, because sometimes, listen, it doesn't really matter where Donovan Mitchell drafted at. I just feel like that kid got something special in him. Like, you know how you just see certain plays and you just look at like, nah, they have it. Like, I feel like RJ Hampton has that personality for New York. And I don't think he'll be there at 27.
I mean, he may have the personality. He may have the personality. I won't, say he doesn't have the personality. But I just don't know if you take him as high as 8. I think there's going to be better players out there.
Like I would take Karl-Anthony before him. I would take Toppin before him. But it's not, depending, because everybody else is kind of projected before that. You know what I mean? Before the 8th spot, everybody else that would apply to us is kind of really much projected already. So who aside from like those 3, that's who I would see, because if Karl-Anthony and Toppin's not there and we don't take RJ Hampton, we're not going to get him at 27.
I mean, you could be right. You could be right.
He pairs well with Barrett.
He's projected to be somewhere between 22 and 25, or 20 and 25, I think. That's his projections. That's just projections.
Yeah, like late teens, early 20s, around there before us.
I don't know if I take him at 8.
You drafted CP3 and you got CP3 as a coach?
I mean, if I was the Knicks and I was really looking for RJ Hampton and I was like, this is the guy that I want, then I'm going to trade down. I'd try to accumulate some more assets and trade down.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. Hey, my man.
Oubre would be the only other one that I would consider trading for, depending. But that would be like. Yeah, because like I would do the 8th.
Well,
maybe swap it with the 10th.
Well, I think with Kelly Oubre, they might be looking to give up a pick or something like that. Ain't that right? Phoenix is looking to give up a pick to move him or something like that, possibly. So.
Yeah, Sim, like I said, that 3-way deal with the OKC, that's a value, but that can happen with the Knicks, Phoenix, and OKC.
Right.
Yeah, that absolutely can't happen.
That'd be something. That'd be something, because I like Kelly Oubre. He's not a great shooter.
That would make sense.
He's not a great shooter. He's a decent. He's okay. 35% last year from the 3-point line. That was his highest ever. But I like that he's a defender. I like this. He averaged 19 points per game despite his 3-point shooting. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. And if you can get him in a draft pick, I think that's
that would be a great line right there. I don't know. Honestly, I was all for getting rid of Randall, but
Oh,
It depends. Like, I don't really like if we could get CP3 and we have to kind of stick with Randall. I don't mind having Randall on the roster.
Well, you already know I don't
next
either.
Year, he could opt out, right? If I'm correct.
No, he can't opt out. The Knicks have a team option.
We could opt him out next year.
The Knicks could be like, we don't want him no more. Yeah.
But if last season he was damn near the first like primary scorer that we had to kind of rely on. This upcoming season, he wouldn't be that. He would be the third or fourth, as he should be.
Depending on who you got on the team.
Yeah, like if we had CP3 and you got RJ Barrett, you got Mitchell Robinson, he's almost your fourth option, which he would play great at. And under Thibodeau's not gonna let him run the ball, and like he was doing this last season.
Listen, you got
part.
Everybody can go. Everybody can go and check out my video, on where I think Tom Thibodeau would use Julius Randle, given that he's still here, on where you would use Julius Randle. A lot of that is in that top elbow area. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see, And I'm not just having him, and I'm not just showing him score from that elbow area. I'm showing him get assists. I'm showing him set screens, do a lot of things. Mark, go look at it. You can learn something. But anyway, my man, I appreciate your call, bro.
Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, be good.
Peace.
I watched 3 minutes of it, left the comment, and dipped out. I just couldn't take
you should have watched the whole thing. You could have learned something. But anyway.
I don't need to learn nothing.
Let's talk about Joel Embiid. Let's talk about Joel Embiid, man. Let's talk about Joel Embiid. All right, you cool with that?
Mark? He's gone, Tim. Joel Embiid's gone.
So.
No, he's not.
So look, Joel Embiid. Obviously, we know Doc Rivers just went to Philadelphia. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Something's gonna have. There's gonna have to be some moving around. You know what I mean? Of players. Joel Embiid is one who people say could be moved from Philadelphia. Are you interested in Joel Embiid? I am not really interested in Joel Embiid. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not interested in Joel Embiid or his contract. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested in the guy. I'm just not interested in him. He's a good player.
So
it's not what I want. I feel like he's too slow.
I don't think those two players are going nowhere. They're not going to go nowhere.
They may not be able to let him go anywhere, but.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Who's going to trade? What is Philly going to get for Joel Embiid?
Steven Adams and Chris Paul.
What?
Steven Adams and Chris Paul for Joel Embiid. Even swap, the money matches.
Listen, you will be a retard because number one, you're not going to give up a 25-point game scorer for Steven Adams. We already know what he does, and Chris Paul's 35. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that?
Because Steven Adams fits your center build that you need. He moves faster than Joel Embiid, which is what Philly needs. They need to be able to move up and down the court. They need a center that doesn't need the ball in their hands. And what that automatically does is it forces Ben Simmons to get out of that point guard position where he doesn't need to be because he's not shooting. And that put Chris Paul at the 1 and Ben Simmons at the 3 or the 4. And then you could have Al Horford starting at the 5 and Steven Adams coming off the bench. And you got Tobias Harris at the 4.
Let me tell you something.
And the money matches up.
Listen,
and Joel Embiid can be the center, the big man guy that OKC could actually use in the paint, while the other 3 guards run up and down the court.
That would be idiotic.
Okay, well,
it's an easy.
But do any of you look at Joel Embiid and say you want him on the Knicks? I don't care about OKC or Philly. Do you look and say you want him on the Knicks?
Listen, if the price is right. If the price is right.
So what's the price then? What's the price then, Mark? Because Joel Embiid is in the middle of a large contract. All right, I'm gonna read out his contract to you. Okay. He made $27 million this year. He makes $29 million in 2020, 2021, $31 million in 2021, 2022, and $33.6 million in 22, 23. All right, so what's the price
Okay, so
tag?
people talk
What's the
about-
price tag, and how does he fit with R.J. Barrett and the Knicks?
Listen, I would say this: no one except for RJ, anyone else could be traded. Like when people say that they don't work, like I can't. Like they've been a playoff team since he's on the court. He is a.
Talk to me about about the Knicks on why it would work with the Knicks. I don't care if it worked with Philly or not. Obviously, I mean.
Listen, I'm giving up Mitch. Mitch would have to go. Knox would have to go. Frank or Dennis Smith or first round pick. I think the 8th pick would have to go. I'm taking Joel Embiid. I don't care because I have Tom Thibodeau. And if you're talking about lining him up with a talented center like in Joel Embiid that can almost do anything on the floor, I'll be okay taking Joel Embiid. Like, stop it, because Simmons is not even better than him. It's not. Stop it.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to have anything to do with Joel Embiid. One, I think you got Joel Embiid and RJ. RJ's going to get faster, but we'll be a slow half court team with those guys. I think because the ball is going to play between those two players to be a slow half court team. I think I'm afraid of his knee injuries going forward into the future. Right, there's always going to be knee injuries, and then I just don't. I feel like he's got this Dwight Howard goofy attitude. Like when Dwight Howard was young, when Dwight Howard was young, that was the big knock on him, that he can't get serious enough to just focus on the game and really take it to where he should have taken it to. And I feel like Joel Embiid kind of has that same thing, which is. I want guys that are serious and just want to come dog it out.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That Kawhi shot really changed the outlook on Embiid, because that shot did not go in. Embiid would be looked differently. Like, I hate when people, you can't do this. No.
That's my opinion. It was my opinion on him before. I could care less about that shot. It happens in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
It happens in the NBA. That was my opinion on him before that shot. Is my opinion on him now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he takes it as serious as he could. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about him joking and stuff, because Shaq joked a lot, but Shaq took the game serious when he still took the game serious.
Yeah, when he was on the court, there was no jokes with Shaq.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like Embiid, kind of has that same kind of Dwight Howard type of thing.
It's a 50-50 thing, because I like Joel Embiid personally, so it's a 50-50 thing with me. So it's like, if we don't have to give up much to get him, I'll be cool with that. If I have to give up,
we gotta give up everything to get him, bro. What are you talking about? There's no give up if we don't have to give up much. You gotta give up the whole block to get him. The money doesn't. The money alone is not gonna allow us to not get fleeced. If you go after Joel, did you hear the contract? He made $27 million this year. He made $31 million next year, and he made $34 million a year after that. We are getting fleeced right now in order to make that happen. They're not going to just want 2 players. They're going to want draft picks, and the money's not going to match up, bro. We got to get fleeced to get Joel Embiid. So the answer is hell no. That's it. The answer is hell no. They're going to want Mitch. Right, and he's on a light contract, so that's not gonna make it cut. That means they're gonna have to throw in Julius Randle. He's on an $18 million contract, but that's still not gonna make the cut.
Still gotta add somebody else.
$27 million. So
Bobby Portis, $15 million.
So now you add Bobby Portis, right? Then we lose a power forward. We only got old Taj Gibson left, right? So you got Bobby Portis and Taj Gibson running your front court.
I don't know where you value Bobby Portis.
Listen, I understand the analytics of the game. Right? Where Bobby Portis, Frank Ntilikina, and Damian Johnson was statistically the best 3-man lineup that we had in the team. But again, we are still getting fleeced. Because if Bobby Portis is worth anything, we're going to have to sign a major contract for him after next season, and we're going to get fleeced for that. That means Mitchell Robinson, the young guy that we were putting our stock into, the golden gem that we found in the second round, is gone.
So
I'm not willing to do that. Absolutely not.
All right. So let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you this, Andy. Let me ask you, Andy. If because it is possible.
I got Tibbs on my team, man.
Hold up. I'm talking to Andy. Right? It is possible that if you waive Bobby Portis, right? You waive Taj Gibson, you waive Elfrid Payton, this and that. You can come up with $40 million. Is it possible that Philly would be desperate enough to say, hey, Knicks, give us a second-round draft pick. You absorb Joel Embiid's contract. And then they free up $30-something million so that they can be players in the 2021 free agency. Is that possible? And if so, would you do it?
Me personally, as far as Knicks standpoint, I don't think we're gonna even look at Embiid. But if I'm in Philly's spot, I think I can get a high first round pick, even like maybe the Golden State one. Maybe personally, I don't think it's gonna work, but I think they could get a top 3 pick. In this draft, right?
I mean, probably so.
Yeah, so I would rather go that route than just to absorb a Bobby Portis contract or an Elfrid Payton one. So that would be personally me. So I would rather go to Golden State and tell them I'm gonna trade you Joel Embiid. You can find a third team to do a 3-way trade or stuff like that, and try to work it that way and get a high pick from lottery standpoint, maybe a couple of picks for the future years, but that as far as Philly could probably go. Not absorbing only contracts. So
do you think Golden State? You think Golden State has interest in Joel Embiid?
No, personally not, because he's not gonna fit there by any way you would like to see it and stuff like that. He's not gonna fit the system because they play fast pace, and Embiid's not for that. But if they can find a third team that's willing to get Embiid, and they have no chance to get him straight out of Philly, and some kind of mesh, some kind of deal with Golden State giving up the pick, them losing, putting up a contract, and those guys getting a piece to the Warriors. I think that might be possible.
Okay.
So you think they're gonna give up those two before they look to try to trade Tobias Harris or Horford first? Because there's no way.
Mark,
but there's no market. There's no market.
Yeah.
Nobody wants him. Nobody.
Yeah, I had to. He started breaking up bad. I don't know. He got excited, started breaking up crazy, and he froze. But I don't think there's much of a market for Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris just entered his contract. So listen, he made 30. Hold on, he made 32.7 this year. He makes 34 next year. 36 in 2021-22, 37 in 22-23, and then 39 million in 23-24.
Let me ask you a question.
Bro, he is not worth that. You talk about Fred VanVleet not being worth 22 million?
Yeah.
He is not worth that money.
No, I've said that long ago. But there is a trade for Tobias Harris. The Buddy Hill swap.
I was going to say, Mark.
Swap, and all Philly have to do is give up a pick because Buddy Hill don't want to play for the Kings no more. So they could swap them two. I bring in a dead-eye shooter that they need because Tobias Harris ain't no knockdown shooter like Buddy Hill.
Bro, so, I don't think even Sacramento was that crazy to invest that amount of money in Tobias Harris, and they're not a winning franchise.
Listen.
Why would they pay Tobias Harris until 2023, 2024?
So let me ask you a question, Sam. Even with 2021 coming up, who's going to Sacramento?
Exactly. That's the only point. That these teams that like Sacramento and like those small market teams that no free agent is even looking at those teams, they have to, absorb a contract like that. I know it's crazy, but
they would. They wouldn't really be absorbed. They'd be absorbing some of it. Listen, Buddy Hield's contract. But listen, Buddy Hield.
As if them being actually like.
All right.
Nobody's He's not on the trade market. He's not on the trade market. We need to be talking about Buddy Hield. That's what we need to be talking about.
But hold on. But listen, so like we really, because nobody has wired headphones in. We really can't talk at the same time because it's gonna break up big time. All right. I couldn't see Sacramento doing that for Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield goes into a new contract starting next season, and then his contract descends. He starts off making 24.9. He ends up making 19 million, right?
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, his contract in 2024, he makes $40 million. Sacramento would be paying double in the same year if they make that trade.
So check this out, Tim. Check this out. If Philly's gonna go for Buddy Hield, right? Remember, they're gonna have to give up more. So I'm giving you Tobias Harris, whatever lottery pick that Philly has left. If it's the first round pick, Sacramento has to do that because now they have it saying that Buddy Hield is not even answering the coach's call. Like he wants out because the coach was playing him as a six man. He wanted to be the star, so he disgruntled. So now, if I was Philly, I'm gonna ask them, listen, I'm gonna give you Tobias Harris. And I'm going to give you a first-round pick, whatever first-round pick you want. Here, as a bad team, I'm taking that because I'm still taking a 26-year-old Tobias Harris, knowing that I'm not going to get no free agency. I'm not going to get no free agents. They're just going to be that type of team for years until De'Aaron Fox is all worldly and take him to the next level. But until that, you have no leverage.
Bro, Tobias Harris, to me, Tobias Harris is not the kind of guy you spend $40 million on, and you don't cap strap yourself for 5 years on a player that's not going to be worth that money. It would be crazy, especially when Buddy Hield's contract is going down. If they're going to trade Buddy Hield, Sacramento can do better.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever they want.
They can do better because the way his contract is structured, they can do better out there with somebody else without taking on a crazy contract like that. You know what I'm saying? What about Buddy Hield for the Knicks? How you feel about Buddy Hield for the Knicks?
No.
Yes. The reason why, is because Buddy Hield is the perfect fit next to RJ. You need a shooter who could really shoot next to RJ. Imagine RJ next to Buddy Hield. That's what we need. That's who we need to go after. Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So what are you giving up for him?
I'm giving up Julius. Julius Randle. I'm giving up the 27th pick.
One at a time. Go ahead, Kevin. Julius Randle, DSJ. Maybe Knox in the 27th pick. Why do you? Not the 27th pick. Whoa! Why are you giving up so much?
Buddy ain't no all-star.
The 38th pick in like Julius Randle. To me, honestly, DSJ has no trade value. I really don't count him as a NBA basketball player right now. So I don't value what we're talking about in terms of DSJ's trade value. I think he's a throw-in, and he could be thrown in if they want him. So not the 27th pick, not the 8th pick, maybe the 38th, Julius Randle. And the reason why you're giving up Julius Randle is because his contract is not that great either. I mean, he's not a fit for the Knicks. So Julius Randle, 38, maybe Knox. And then DSJ is a throw-in.
But hold up. But why do you have to give... If you're gonna give up Julius Randle, hold on. If you're gonna give up Julius Randle, right? You're gonna give up Julius Randle. He's making $19 million. Why do you got to give up DSJ and Knox? You only need one other person to make the salary cap match.
Right.
You ain't gotta give up all that.
We keep Knox, but honestly, I don't feel like DSJ.
I was one of the first ones.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I was one of the first ones that came up with that trade scenario like 2 months ago, right? So we understand that right now, Sacramento is one of the low market teams that's in a crappy position that because they signed Buddy Hield to that big contract, they're going to be one of the guys that takes that cut, right? They're going to be one of those guys that take that cut. So you give up the players that are on the 1-and-1 contract. You trade them Bobby Portis, Elfrid Payton, and Wayne Ellington, now what they do is that gives them the ability to bail out. Right after you make that trade, again, they're on a 1-and-1 contract, so Sacramento can immediately waive Elfrid Payton if they chose. They could waive Reggie Bullock if they chose. They for damn sure can waive Wayne Ellington if they chose, because the money already matches if you just do Bobby Portis and Buddy Hield, or Bobby Portis and Reggie Bullock. And the Buddy Hield package already matches. So when you make that trade, you give them the option to drop and waive off the other contracts, which means they save money in the long end. We don't need to do no extra picks. We don't need to do no Kevin Knox. We don't need to do DSJ and Julius Randle, because Julius Randle's money already surpasses what Buddy Hield is going to make this year. So we don't need to throw in any extras. We can literally give them just the players that are about to be waived, and then that could be even. And they actually gain some because they can keep Bobby Portis, and they can waive Wayne Ellington, they can waive Reggie Bullock, and they save their money in the long run. We don't have to do all of that extra stuff and get rid of our assets. We don't.
So Sim, read off Buddy Hield's age to me, and read off his contract, because he got paid $90 million, and I'm gearing up for 2021. Why would I want to bring $90 million on for player?
Okay, so Buddy Hield is 27 years old. All right, hold up. Let me read his contract again. I'll read it again. He's 27 years old. His contract begins in 2020, 2021. This is when it begins. So the first year, he makes 24.9. The second year, he makes 22.9. The third year, he makes 21. And then the fourth year, in 2023, 2024, he makes 19.
Listen, Sam, if he was Ray Allen type of player, I'll take him in a bit. But he's not even that, man. He's an okay shooting guard.
Allen's one of the top three shooting guards top three shooters of all time. So to compare him to Ray Allen is a lot. We need shooters. Plain and simple, we absolutely need shooters. Putting somebody like Buddy next to RJ is how we need to build. He's still young. And the reason why I said all those players, in terms of like giving up DSJ, maybe Knox, is honestly, when it comes to DSJ, I don't really value what he brings. I feel like just basketball wise, he showed us last year that he just don't got it. He just does not got it. And when it comes to Julius, I'm personally tired of seeing the whole spin dribble. I feel like we could ship that off to Sacramento, and like it is addition by subtraction in that. In that case, Sacramento, so that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
But if you want to move Julius Randle, you don't need. If you wanted to move Julius Randle for Buddy Hield, you don't need to add all these other players. You can use them for something else.
So check this out, Sam.
Well, hold up.
I think we need to go get him.
Okay, so hold on. All right, hold up, Mark. Hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue this conversation on Sportscaster.
Jump over.
So make sure you jump over and finish on Sportscaster with us. All right, I'm putting the link in the YouTube chat right now, and it's also going to be in the description of this video. All right, so make sure that you go check us out on Sportscaster. And I see there's a lot of talk going on, man. People, they're talking about some of the things we're saying, because, some of us are saying some wild stuff up in here. You know what I mean?
That Buddy Hield contract, it's starting 2020.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to keep it open for 2021.
Hold up, Mark. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish transferring over? Sheesh. Getting excited. Join us over on Sportscaster. And if you don't want to join us on Sportscaster, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to stay on YouTube, then you can go to this 24/7. This is a 24/7 chat on YouTube. Now, it's just music playing. Okay, it's just music playing, but you can talk about anything you want. So if you want to go in there and talk about the Knicks, go in there and talk about the Knicks. All right, it's just a live 24/7 chat. It's independent music. Underground music playing. You guys can go check that out. All right, it's pretty dope. Go check that out, and it's always up. You know what I mean? So you can go in there anytime and just listen to some dope music, talk about the Knicks, talk about politics, talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. All right. So go check that out. Either one, man. Just do me a solid. Go check them out. Go chat, talk, do whatever you want to do. I'm putting the link in the description one more time for Sportscaster and YouTube. I appreciate you guys. I do want to say, give a shout out to Siobhan Robinson. He was talking about Trez Harrell. He said he's a carbon copy of Kenny Fareed. Yeah, he probably is. He probably is. All right, well, we're going to head over to Sportscaster. We're going to remain on Sportscaster, ladies and gentlemen. Join us there. We're going to continue to talk about some trade scenarios. And we're going to talk about why Kevin Knox is a key to some of these, a key to at least the Knicks prying Chris Paul from the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? According to reports, Kevin Knox is a key. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys. YouTube, catch you on Sportscaster, or I'll catch you in the 24/7 chat. I'm out of here.
Yo, come through the Sportscaster, man.